that's a side product of that thinking.
Well, I think that happened with the band because initially because we were so nervous when we turned into a band rather than just leaving ourselves fucking about. I started drinking a huge amount because I was so fucking terrified of going on the stage in that sort of way. And I mean, we really were drinking a lot. The whole band was, except for people. It was just sort of do the organisation. And there came a point where I realised, like many bands, we just wouldn't survive if we went on that way. So I sort of, we had a big meeting. We didn't often have band meetings and such, because we were always there for breakfast, lunch and tea. Anyway, the meeting was about, look, we cut all this stuff out, we've got to go straight, because we're not going to survive. And that really was about survival, not about any moral issue. I don't care about what people do, but if you're trying to do something, this was going to get badly in the way, we were going to become ill. Of course it didn't stop, but at least we had that sort of control. In 1 quarter, we had that sort of control factor, which was very important, and that's why we lasted 7 years. We were 7 years working very intensely as a body of people, and we couldn't have done it if there'd been drugs or drink in the class.
But for me, it get a bit embarrassing sometimes, because I was at this gig once, right, and there's a whole crew of punks saying, no, I'm Steve Ignorant and all this, and Andy, part of always used to look after the money. Well, we never used to have our own money, we used to have to ask for it. So I got to Andy Parker, 50p, and he went, what do you want it for? In front of all these punks, I want to buy a drink, and he went, I don't think you should be drinking before you go on stage. Please don't make me suffer. No. I think you should go and ask Penny.
And did you?
No, I just went down the queue, got 10p, which is how I got the nickname, got 10p Steve. It was at the height of our fame, and there's me buying 10p. Can I get Crass buy a new t-shirt? No, that's why I used to exchange things at gigs. Oh, I like your shoes, mate, yeah, about the same stuff. I used to swap, I used to swap them last.
So when Steve brought punk into the house, what was your initial reaction to it? Was it, you think, wow, this could be the vehicle? Was it just something, or did you think it was something quite alien? Or
I didn't think, I just thought it was someone else's story. I mean, the way you placed it would have been very contrived. And one of the beautiful things about the way I've been able to live at Dial House is that it isn't contrived. Nothing is, ooh, we could use that, or ooh, we could this. I mean, G is quite an awkward person to live with, but she is extraordinary in that she will not contrive. She won't try and make something out of things. Things either happen and grow naturally. So when Steve was there, then yeah, for me, it's a sort of like, I'd come through the whole art world, really. I used to teach art, and then I became an artist, painter, and then got into music, etc., etc., etc. But to have someone like, well, G was from actually a very similar background to Steve, but she'd come through the art world as well. But no, there was never this sense of, ooh, here's something I could use. Not at all. It's more a fusion. And I think the fact that Steve liked, like Bowie, Motown, ska, that sort of area, I sort of liked it enough. I like what I like. Well, we put the two together. We shared what we had of each other. We shared our backgrounds together. I'd had a very privileged background, and Steve had what I'd like to call an underprivileged background. In other words, somewhat deprived of the things that is everyone's right. Decent education, decent housing, all the things which are a positive right. Well, we shared those together. And I think it created a very unique mix, which is why Crass still sounds weird, compared to most other punk, so-called, or most other rock and roll. It's got a funny edge. Well, that's because actually it's a combination of two very different cultures. And it wasn't a contrivance, it was a natural, if I wanted a better word, love of each other. Steve and myself were very different people, and I think we just loved each other. We liked fucking about.
You put your about me in the house.
Which is not the way Steve put it.
How
would you put it then, Steve?
I mean, we like mucking about together. I don't know, now it's a minefield of double entendres now, I don't know. We got on.
How was it for you, Steve?
As other people came into the collective, is what it was. So how did that work?